making an allusion, well, directly really speaking, about how it should be back like when the world gathered together to fight the horrible evil of Hitler. Is this plan workable? Will partners agree? And most importantly, can it be effective?
Well, it's completely crazy because the Obama administration has excluded Iran from apparently a very serious discussion about Syria tomorrow at the UN. So how can you discuss facts on the ground without Iran? And Russia is not going to be part of this US organized summit on Syria as well. This is completely absurd. If you analyze the speeches today, Putin's speech, Rouhani's speech, and Xi Jinping's speech compared to that, poser juvenile delinquent on crack that was Obama. Everybody could fall asleep of regurgitating the same demonization and condescending posture, especially against Iran, against Russia, and against China, which happen to be, by the way, the three key countries that are bent on integrating Eurasia. So this is very clear. We have the Obama administration on one side and the integration of Eurasia on the other side, which also includes peace in Syria. If you want peace in Syria, there are two possible scenarios. You have Russia and Iran on board, or if they are not on board, you're not going to do anything with this coalition of dodgy opportunists, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, etc. So the Obama administration, even we're talking now, this is 3 hours ahead of the Putin-Obama meeting. They still haven't made up their mind. It's completely ridiculous.
And speaking about exclusion and inclusion, Barack Obama also called for a unified response to ISIL, but his idea of unity doesn't include the Syrian government. Take a listen to this, Pepe.
We must act, but we will be stronger when we act together. Tyrants like Bashar al-Assad, who drops barrel bombs to massacre innocent children. Yes, realism dictates that compromise will be required to end the fighting and ultimately stamp out ISIL. But realism also requires a managed transition away from Assad and to a new leader.
So are there, Pepe, contradictions in Washington's tone on Syria?
It's an enormous contradiction, because first of all, because they don't have the only policy the Obama administration has is Assad must go. This has been going on for 4 years. Assad didn't go anywhere. On the contrary, it was ISIS, ISIL, Daesh that went all over Syria, Iraq, destroyed Sykes-Picot 100 years ago. They took over 60% of Iraq-Syria territory. The only way to fight them is what Russia is proposing. Russia has been proposing this since 2012. It's completely crazy. It's a real international coalition, which includes the Europeans, which includes, of course, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, the US, but also Russia and China and Iran. And the Obama administration, they're still procrastinating. They know that the only way that there's going to be a victory against the fake caliphate is with Russian input, with Syrian Arab army input, with advisors from Iran, and obviously on the ground as well, very good trained fighters by Hezbollah. But obviously this goes against everything that the Obama administration believes, which is regime change, Hezbollah is a terrorist organization, the Russians must be demonized, it's NATO Cold War 2.0. So they have to basically not to adopt a neoconish posture anymore. And this is terrible, because the neocons are going to be all over the Obama administration, the Washington Post editorial pages, the Wall Street Journal editorial pages. Today I've seen the American interpretations in corporate media of Putin's speech and Xi Jinping's speech. They are absolutely pathetic. They're regressing. They are going to Paleolithic, in fact. So it's an enormous problem for the Obama administration, because they don't have a policy. They are guided by neocons inside the administration, embedded in the administration, and now they know that they are going behind Russia. Russia seized the initiative with facts on the ground in Syria, supporting Bashar al-Assad and the Syrian Arab army on the ground, and trying to organize a real coalition, including some of the dodgy opportunists, like Saudi Arabia and Turkey, are also talking with Russia. And that's the only way. That's why. And Xi Jinping said that in his. President Rouhani, in his speech, he talked about a joint plan of action, echoing the discussions and negotiations of the Iran nuclear deal in Vienna. It's a joint comprehensive plan of actions with all the local players and the Westerners as well to fight the caliphate. Otherwise, this is going to be what's happening so far. These bombings, ridiculous bombings by American jets or Turkish jets, 4 or 5 U.S.-trained moderate rebels to fight against ISIS-Isil Daesh, and the whole world now sees how absolutely pathetic this is all going.
Now, the meeting of the Russian and U.S. leaders, of course, is going to happen on the sidelines, but it's pretty much the most anticipated meeting at this year's General Assembly. Let's be honest. The tone that the two presidents have already given at the General Assembly, how do you see that meeting going? What could come out of it?
Yes, because the tone in President Obama's speech was demonizing against Russia, condescending vis-a-vis Iran, and a few swipes against China as well. China, of course, is in the background, but China supports the Russian position. President Putin laid out clearly what Foreign Minister Lavrov had already laid out a week ago, more or less, the Russian position, which is very close to the Iranian position. First of all, we need an overall coalition to fight and smash as much as possible Daesh. Then, of course, it's a parallel process, but it's afterwards. First to get rid of the absolute mess that is Daesh controlling territory, controlling villages, controlling desert, oil smuggling, you name it. And obviously there's a parallel political process that includes, of course, new elections, certainly, the credible Syrian opposition, which it may be small, but it does exist, but it was overtaken and completely sidelined by the Salafi jihadi elements. And of course, convincing Turkey and Saudi Arabia that their Assad-Moscow regime change operation, it's over. It's different now. Assad may eventually go, of course, but first of all, the priority is to defeat Daesh. And this is something that the Obama administration is, like, once again, because of the neoconish element, the dictator killing, shooting his own people, that same ridiculous thing, they still have not made up their mind. So it's going to be an extremely tense meeting between Obama and Putin. I'm not sure Obama is going to give ground on Assad must go. What President Putin could do is, okay, let's try a parallel process. We, on both of our sides, U.S. and Russia, including Saudi Arabia, Turkey, etc., we work towards a managed transition, but we need facts on the ground fast in the next 1 or 2 months to attack. We know, satellite intelligence knows where they are.
Pepe, I'm going to have to wrap you up there on that note. Thank you so much for your looks ahead of this very, like we said, anticipated meeting between Putin and Obama. We will certainly be watching closely. Thanks so much. Still ahead in our UN General Assembly special coverage, RT's Ilya Petrenko hits the streets of New York to see if people notice this, his T-shirt.
Thank you. So you don't mind me taking the selfie with you when I'm wearing this T-shirt?
Oh my God, Putin, I didn't see it.
We'll bring you more reaction to our reporter's fashion choice in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us.